Alright. Nice weather for ducks. But I got everything done. I even cut the grass in the rain today. I did it again. I blocked poor Candace from getting into her job early. So I blocked the laneway. She said, "Ah, you did it again." I said, "Yep." I start at 9 here, and I usually get here about half an hour early. So what I do is I just kind of like sit out. Well, the grass doesn't look too bad. I had to rake the leaves off though. And I got some more cherry tomatoes. Oh yeah. And I gotta get some gas money. Or I got gas money, so I gotta fill that up. I figured I had about 2 lawnmower tanks left in that, which would probably finish off the season. I don't know how many more grass cuts I'm gonna be doing. It's that time, guys. Like whatever happens kind of thing, right? It's like could have snow tomorrow morning. You never know. You know, I don't even want to say that. I'm sorry for saying that out loud. I really am. Then again, it's like I'm sick and tired of the heat, sick and tired of the flies. You know, but I don't want to shovel snow either. Like, am I in hell? Come to think of it, everything's miserable. Holy crap. But anyway, yeah, so I cut the grass there. My chainsaw. Okay, chainsaw. The drama continues. And I still got to show you what I did to the poor friggin' thing. And anyway, long story short, I took out that stump, or most of the stump, at one of my clients, and it was right along, you know, like the chain link fence there, those little green chain link fences, and it was growing right into there. So you can imagine what happened to my chain, right? I used it yesterday. I didn't think I could get it done, but I was able to clean up the branches that I wanted to clean up for the season and cut all the trees across the roads here for the season so far until more stuff falls down. I got away with it. I did 35 swipes per tooth for the first sharpening, 15 for the second sharpening, another 35 for the third sharpening. It cuts, but it doesn't cut straight, but it's cutting. The fact that it cuts but it dulls quick, because like, I mean, that chain is really, really beat up. But it's like, you know, if I would sit there and spend a good half an hour to 45 minutes sharpening it, I bet you I could get that chain to cut like new again. Like, as beat up as that chain is. You wouldn't believe it. I did the rakers also today just because I didn't think they needed to be done according to the gauge, but I thought, give it a couple of swipes anyway, see what happens. And the first few cuts were not bad, the chips were good, but it seems like it's cutting good on one side, but it's, I guess, these teeth on the right side that are the ones that got the most mangled. I don't know, maybe just the way the saw was angled when I was cutting through the fence or whatever. But you cut like that much and the saw, it starts to cut crooked. So I know it's cutting on one side for sure. You know, the other side needs but this file I'm using is too big. So what's happening is I'm reshaping the size of the tooth, and it's not quite lining up to sharpen as good as it can. But like, I mean, just to finish off the season, I'd be happy. If I can get one more stump out, possibly 2, if I can get, but I don't think I'll have to worry about the other stump because I'm kind of done with that client for the season, sort of, kind of, yes, no, maybe, sort of. But if I could get those 2 more stumps out, then my saw, you know, I've made it through the season. So it really comes down to this one stump of doom, which I have at home, most of the stump. It's just to get the ground part of it out, which is the hardest part of the tree, right? And, but I didn't do too bad. Like, that chain, I mean, it was dull as sin when I got it. The first time I used that saw, I don't know how many years ago now. 2017, I guess, was when I started working for that client. And I remember when her husband was still alive, a real nice guy, you know, I miss him, you know what I mean? Anyway, he's like, oh yeah, I got a chainsaw, don't worry about it. funny. I said, this thing's really, really, really dull. Yeah, I took all the flowers out of there, guys. Yeah, my client's car is gone. I don't think she could handle seeing the, like, she's like those, I bug her. It's like, okay, I said, as soon as I'm done breaking all your prize-winning flowers and pulling them out of the ground, is the therapist coming right as soon as I leave? The therapist showing up? Yeah, pretty much. When people put a lot of effort into their gardening hobbies, it's nice to see that people get occupied by something like that, because it's a very positive thing, right? And it's something they take pride in it, right? And then here I come along and just cut it down, pull it out. Here I am, hear me cracking them, putting them in the bags. Anyway, so let's get back to the chainsaw. So that's why I said, sir, I got to take this. I am taking this. You have no choice in the matter. I said, I know I'm going to be back next week. I said, I'm going to bring this saw home. I got to sharpen it. And so I brought it home. I sharpened it the best I could. It's sort of cut, but I was like, oh, I'll just use mine. I'll just bring mine. But I didn't have a vehicle at the time, right? Or no. My mom's vehicle was about to die. The road rage van. You guys remember the road rage van? That Dodge Mini Caravan? I love that van, but it rusted out, right? I think it was no, it was a little bit before I got the road rage van. That's why. Yeah, because he had to come and pick me up. So he'd pick me up in the morning, and I'd load up his SUV with full of tools. Not quite this bad, but hey, we're tight for room, you know. And throw in like 3 chainsaws or whatever. Bring back his, and I must have sharpened that chain 100 times already. And then after he passed, the widow, she said, well, you might as well take it. I'm never going to use it. Like, I'm not using one of those death machines, you know. Chainsaws are about the scary. Like, even grown men I know won't touch chainsaws because they're like, those things freak me out. You know, I'm like, and here I am up in like trees, like hanging out of half dead Manitoba maples, and with a freaking 72cc chainsaw hanging off, you know, like hanging on with my legs, trying not to fall. Oh, it's like, well, I was up on the ladder yesterday, you know. I mean, I usually tie the ladder in and stuff like that, but you know, it's like, you know, like it's like, if you're gonna go, man, make it spectacular. I mean, yeah, falls off the ladder with the big chainsaw. Well, that's just a little one, but yeah. So after I got it, I thought, well, maybe I could save that chain. So I just started sharpening and sharpening. And when Paul and I were doing the trees out in the neighboring town there, which we still have to finish off, I mean, like, I was like cutting really good. Even at one point, I was cutting better than his 72cc chainsaw, because it was getting a bit dull on him. And I told him, I said, you got to sharpen that up to get a bit dull. That squirrel on the side of the road. Oh, hold your nose. Hold your nose. Dead skunk in the middle of the road. Well, he's 3/4 of the way to the middle of the road. Oh, he got me good. He got me. That's twice that skunk's revenge. But anyway, yeah, so I got the saw cutting really good most of the summer. But I used Mini Beast most of the summer, right? And then when we started doing the trees in the neighboring town, Mini Beast kept throwing his trigger. Because it's not, you know, like Mini Beast still runs great, it's just the trigger, it's too bent now, and it's not the right trigger for it, so it lets go, jams up and lets go and all that. So what ends up happening is I don't have a backup chainsaw, so I had to use that. So I gave it a stop, took a day and I gave it a good sharpening, and it was cutting really good. And then I did the stumps with the wire and stuff, and that, yeah, that set me back. Otherwise, that chain would be cutting perfect right now. But who knows? Maybe I'll get it going again. I know the side that needs the most sharpening, and but also I have the wrong, like I have my right proper size file is done, right? So I don't have the right size. So the file I'm using is slightly too big, so it doesn't line up on the tooth quite where I want it to. So I'm basically reshaping the tooth. So until that, and then of course, you know, I'm gonna wear out the chain with that big file. It's not that it's much bigger, but it's big enough that it just, you know, your hone is changed, right? So once you do that, it's kind good sharpenings.